Good morning, children. Welcome to today's class. You know that in the last class, we were discussing about the lesson, the world of microbes. The world of microbes, okay? So before continuing today's lesson, I wanted to give information about FA1, okay? So your FA1 is going to start from 12th of this month, August 12th, your FA1 will start. So I wanted you to copy down the portions, okay? So since the textbook is changed, we could complete only one lesson. The second lesson is half done and the notes is also not been sent, no. So I will write the portions. That is, only one lesson will be covered this time. Only the first lesson, reproduction in plants, that is growing plants, will be covered, and the worksheet from June you have to revise. Got it, children? Yes. So I'm going to write the portions here. Please copy down. Portions for FA1 test. Portions for FA1 test. Okay. So this lesson number 1, reproduction in plants or growing plants. It is lesson number 1, what it was given, and June worksheet. Got it? So what I had given in the plants, growing, what I had given in the classwork, growing plants, is it not? So that lesson number, and sorry, July worksheet, not June also. June was not given, right? Sorry, July worksheet. So we are given from July. This June portion only we are given from July. So it is lesson number 1 and July worksheet. Got it, children? So growing plants and the worksheet, July worksheet. Understood? Okay. Now, in the next class, I will be doing the revision part also. So for today, you learn what are the questions. Even though the textbook exercises are different in this book, and if you have not got the textbook since it is due, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it from only the worksheet and the classwork what you had written. So even the question answers also, as I said, it is different in the new textbook. I'm going to give the old question answers only what I had given in the classwork. Okay, so prepare for that only. Clear, children? So it is lesson number 1 and July worksheet. I'm going to revise in the next class. So be attentive in the next class and follow the revision and prepare for the test, children. Okay. Yes. Now we'll move to the lesson, the world of microbes. So in the last class, we had discussed about the microbes, or which is also called as microorganisms. So they are very tiny microorganisms which cannot be seen through the naked eye. Under the microscope only it can be seen. So it cannot be seen through the naked eyes. Through microscope only it can be seen. So they are called as microorganisms or microbes. So they are present everywhere. It is present in the water, it is present in the food, soil, air, everywhere it is present. And some microorganisms are present inside our body also, especially in the intestine, which helps in the digestion part. Okay. So those microorganisms are helpful to us. Other microorganisms will cause diseases. So those are called as germs or pathogens. So, and they are 4 kinds of microorganisms: bacteria, protozoa, fungi, and virus. So in the last class, we had studied about bacteria, is it not? So in today's class, we'll move to protozoa. So second kind of bacteria, second kind of microorganism, it is called as protozoa. Protozoa, second kind of microorganism, it is called as protozoa. Okay, so as I said, these are microorganisms. It cannot be seen through the naked eyes. Okay, so this protozoa, it can be grouped under the animal part. Okay, animal it can be classified under animals. This protozoa can be classified under animals. So it can move from one place to another. One place to another. So it can move from one place to another. Okay, and wherever it is present is, it can be seen in the salt water. It can be seen in the fresh water, or it can be seen in the soil also. Okay, some protozoas will live in the soil also. Okay, and then, okay, so this is about protozoa. And what is the food of this protozoa? It lives on the, or it feeds on the living organisms. It feeds on the living organisms. Plants it might be, animals it might be. So it lives on the living organisms. And as I said in the last class, all the organisms, all living things are made up of cells, which helps in the, which is the structural unit and helps in some functions. So here this protozoa, it is one-celled organism or single-celled organism, you can call it as. Okay, so it is single-celled organism. Single-celled organism, and it causes diseases like malaria and dysentery. Okay, so what is malaria? It is fever and cold, chill you feel, and that is caused by the mosquito bite. Okay, so this malaria is nothing but the fever which is caused by the mosquito bite, and it causes chillness. Okay, chill, our body will become cold. And this, you know, dysentery, we will, again it is from the infected food and water. Okay, so this is about the protozoa. This is the second kind of microorganism or microbes, which is called protozoa. Okay, so this protozoa can be grouped under the, it can be classified under animal, and since it is classified under animal, it can move from one place to the other place. And where it lives, so it lives in salt water, it can live in fresh water also, and it can live in the soil also. And what is the food? On what it feeds is, it feeds on the living organisms. And then it is single cell organism. That means it has only one cell. And if that enters our body, or what are the diseases it causes is malaria and dysentery. Okay, malaria again, this is caused by the mosquito bite, and this is caused by the infected food and water. Okay, so this is about the second microbes, protozoa. Okay, so we'll move to the next, third microbes. So what did I say the third one? Bacteria, protozoa, and third one was fungi. What is it? Third is fungi. Okay. Yes. We'll study about this. What is the food of this? How it is, and what it feeds on, or to what group it is classified. All those things. Okay. So these are plant-like organism. So last protozoa you studied, it is animal. It is classified under animal, is it not? So these are plant-like organism. Fungi is nothing but plant-like organism. It is plant-like organism. Okay, and you know that almost all the plants have chlorophyll, through which it can prepare its own food, is it not? But this does not have chlorophyll. This does not have chlorophyll. So chlorophyll, you know, green pigment present in the leaf, which helps in the photosynthesis, which helps the plants to prepare its own food. So even though this fungi is classified under plant-like organism, since it does not have chlorophyll, it cannot prepare its own food. Cannot prepare its own food. It cannot prepare its own food. Okay, so this is one more point. And what is the food of this is, so it lives on dead and decaying plants or animals. Animals and plants. Animals and plants. So the one which is dead or decayed, rotten, so it is going to eat those. This fungi is going to eat those dead and decaying plants and animals. So that is the food of it. It is going to feed on those. Okay. So earlier Protozoa I said it is single celled. Here it can be one celled or it can be many celled. There are single celled organism also, or there are many celled organism also. So single celled organism, fungi, example can be given yeast, and many celled organism can be given example mushroom. So which is an eatable one. Mushroom you will eat, no? So there will be one stem and umbrella like thing over it. So you know that mushroom, is it not? So that can be eatable one. Understood? So that is many celled organism. It has many cells. It is many celled organism. So it can be one celled also. It can be many celled also. Okay. And where it grows, where it lives. So again, since it eats dead and decaying animals and plants, it lives on decaying plants and animals. It eats that, so it lives there only. Decaying plants and animals. Okay, and then some of them grow in the dark, moist, wet, or warm places. Some of the microbes, some of the fungi grow in the dark, moist and warm places. And some also grows in deserts. Some fungi also grows in the deserts. Okay. And so some grows in warm places and some grows in cold places also. Some grows in cold places also. Okay, and then what are the diseases it causes is mainly it causes food infection. So in the earlier case I said the dysentery is caused by the contaminated food and water, is it not? Or sometimes food infection or food poisoning. So if we eat the food which contains fungi, so it can cause food poisoning. That is, we feel like vomiting. Okay, so that food poisoning, and it causes skin diseases like ringworms. It causes skin diseases like ringworms. So what is this ringworms? Again, it is caused by the fungi. It is contagious. That means it can spread from one person to the other person. So it causes red rashes on our body, on the skin especially. So that is called as ringworms. So like patches, red patches like this. Okay, red patches on the skin allergy we say, no? That. So that is caused by the microorganism fungi, ringworms. Okay, and then one more called as athlete's food. One more, it is athlete's food. So it causes in between the toes. In the leg you have the toes, no? So in between those toes, again it will be a red, the skin becomes red. There will be rashes. So why is that is? So this athlete's food occurs mainly for the person who sweats more and who uses more shoes, who wears on a daily basis. If a person is covering his foot for more hours. So that time what happens, air passage will not be there. So like if it sweats more, so there is no passage for the sweat to come out. So it becomes rashes there. That is called as athlete's foot. So usually it causes for the person who wears shoes for a longer time and who sweats more. Okay, so for that it occurs this red athlete's foot, and in the hair you might have seen powder like thing. So that is which is called as dandruff. Dandruff. So that is also a virus which causes damage for the hair. So which can be present in the hair and it causes damage for the hair. So all these diseases are caused by the fungi. Okay, so they can be classified under plant. They are plant-like organism and they don't have chlorophyll. That is why they cannot prepare their own food, and it feeds on the dead and decaying plants and animals. So in the fungi also there can be one-celled organism or many-celled organism. One-celled organism is called as yeast and many-celled organism is called as mushroom. Okay, and where all it grows. Okay, in the last class you have learned that on the earth, more than the human beings, there are microorganisms only in a larger amount, is it not? So this, where are it grows? On the decaying plants and animals. It can grow in the dark, moist, wet places or warm places, or it can also grow in the desert and cold places. And what are the diseases it causes is food poisoning. So we feel vomiting after eating, we feel like vomiting. So that is food poisoning. Then ringworms, so red rashes on the skin, skin allergies. And athlete foot also, that is the name only says it is food. So it is caused between the toes, rashes in the toes. So it causes because of the sweat, mainly because of the sweat, or for the person who wears the tight shoes or the slippers. So if the air passage is not there, so that causes. And if the hair is not maintained, the cleanliness, you're not taking the head bath regularly or not applying oil for the hair, so that leads for the fungi called dandruff in the hair, which causes hair loss also. Okay, so this is about the third microorganism, fungi. Okay, so now we'll move to the last one, virus. So you might have understood now by this time what is happening because of the corona, that virus. Is it not? So because of that only so many problems. You are not able to come to school. Only online class all the time. Is it not? Yes. So that is something but virus. So the fourth microorganism is called virus. Okay. Yes. So we'll study about that now. So these virus are smaller organisms. Smaller organisms than bacteria or other than any other organisms. Okay, than bacteria. Still smaller. Imagine I said the microorganisms are only very tiny. They cannot be seen through the naked eyes. So this virus are still smaller organisms than bacteria. Okay. So this organism, bacteria, all the other organisms, I said it can be seen through the microscope. So you have a lens which enlarges its size, so you can see through a microscope. Since this virus is still smaller than those organisms, so for this you cannot see under the microscope. Another instrument, so powerful microscope. Ordinary microscope you cannot see, so it can be seen under powerful microscope. It can be seen through a powerful microscope. Got it? Why? Because it is still tiny than the other organisms. Okay, and they cannot be seen through the simple microscope, ordinary microscope. And scientists find it difficult to classify them as non-living or living organism because they cannot reproduce outside a living cell. So the scientists, they cannot group it as living, or we cannot group it as non-living thing. Okay, not say it as living thing or non-living thing, because if it is outside, it cannot reproduce. So once it enters into our body, only we get diseases. Disease, as I said now, corona. Okay, so once it is outside, it is not so powerful. So once it enters into our body, then only it is powerful. So that is why we ask you to wear the mask, so that it does not enter into the virus. Any kind of virus it might be. For time being, it is corona. So this virus, it will not enter. So if it is outside, it will not reproduce. You know the characteristics of living thing. It reproduces. It gives births. It might be the human beings, plants, animals, anything. It gives birth to young ones. Is it not? So this virus, it cannot reproduce outside the living organism. So once it enters into our body, so it can cause damage. But if it is outside, it cannot reproduce. So the scientists feel difficult whether it can be classified into living things or non-living things. Okay. So as I said, it is still smaller organism. That is why we cannot see this coronavirus. So until we do the test, or if we get the symptoms like cough or the breathing problem or the fever, then only if we go for the test, after we get the report, only we'll come to know that we have that corona. Is it not? So once it enters into our body, or immediately also, we will not come to know. So we should be careful. That is what we said. We should be very careful. So while going out or after coming from outside, so we have to sanitize or wash our hands before eating or after eating, or if we go outside, so hands, legs, face, everything we have to wash. So we don't know where the microorganism is present. As I said, it cannot be seen. Is it not? So we cannot know where it is present. So we should be careful so that it will not enter into our body. So if it enters only, it causes damage. So we should be careful that it will not enter into our body. Okay. And what are the diseases it causes in? First one is chicken pox. For this, you can read chicken pox. So it will be like blisters. So again, the skin will become red and it will become blisters all over the body, like boils, heat boils, you get. So that chicken pox. And then measles. Next one is measles. So what is this measles? Again, coughing, sneezing, you get. Okay. And then dengue fever, which is caused by the infected food and water. Dengue. Okay. And then common cold. And then next is polio. So all these are the diseases which is caused by the virus. So for this addition, you can add now recent one corona also. So this chickenpox, all these they are found medicine, but for that corona, they are finding it now in the form of the vaccine what we are taking it. Is it not? So before taking, it is good. Now we are taking it. So, but before feeling that we get the diseases, or to get the diseases, it is better to take preventive measures. Okay, so that by following some rules, as I said, not going out unnecessary, or once you go out also, wear the mask, maintain social distancing. By this time, you would have understood the rules or how dangerous this virus is it not? So it can take the life also, or you may suffer from breathing problem, fever, all those things. So before suffering, or it is better to be careful than suffering. Okay, so these are the 4 types of microorganisms present in our body, so which can cause diseases. So bacteria, protozoa, fungi, and virus. Okay, yes. I said that there are microorganisms. All these, what microorganisms you studied now, all these are organisms which causes diseases, which harm our health. So there are microorganisms which are useful to us also. Some microorganisms which is present inside the body, it helps in digestion, I said, etc. So like that, there are few microorganisms also which will help our body, which are useful to us. Okay. So the next topic we will read about useful microbes. Useful microbes. Okay. So we'll list out now what are the different uses of the microbes. Okay. So all microbes are not harmful and many of them are useful to us. So as I said, the 4 we discussed, no, they are harmful to us. So some microorganisms are there which are helpful to us also. Okay. So we'll see what are the microorganisms which are helpful. So there are some bacteria which helps in making or turning milk into curd. So in the last class only I said this lactobacillus. Lactobacillus. Okay. So this is bacteria which is helpful in turning milk into curd. So that is one of the uses of the bacteria. Okay, and then next one, as I said, it is some bacteria is present in the intestine of our body, which helps in food digestion. Okay, so from the curd you can change into cheese also, you can convert into cheese also. Okay, so that is which is present in the intestine, which helps in the food digestion. And there are some bacteria which is helpful or which is useful in breads, making breads or wines. So there are some bacteria which are helpful in making bread and wines. Okay, and then since these bacteria help in or keeping the earth clean, keeping our earth clean. So how these microorganisms help by keeping our earth clean or the environment clean is because they feed on the decaying plants and animals, dead or decaying plants and animals. Dead and decaying plants and animals. Dead or decaying plants and animals. So that is why some of the bacteria are helpful. Got it? So by eating the dead or the decaying plants and animals, it helps to keep the earth clean or our environment clean. Okay. So the next use is some of the microorganisms are helpful, not only bread and the wines. Some of the microorganisms are used in the preparation of ice cream, toothpaste. Some of them are helpful in toothpaste or glues or detergent, soaps. Okay, detergents, soaps, and few are helpful in the medicines also. So if I ask that the microorganisms are dangerous when it enters into our body, then how it is used in the form of medicine? The medicines only how it is helpful, you can ask. Okay, so what they do is they take these microorganisms, they weaken its strength. Okay, they weaken its strength or they make it die. Dead, they make it die and then they use it as vaccines. So what now we are taking the vaccines, no? So it is nothing but it contains the dead microorganisms only. So its strength, we make it weaken. We weaken the strength of it, or sometimes we make it die and then we inject into our body so that it will give us the resistance power. So some of the microorganisms are useful in medicines also. Okay, so one of them is penicillin. 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 So it is a life-saving medicine which is got from the fungus, which is called as Penicillium. 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 So this, as I said, now it is used in the medicines I told now. So this is Penicillium fungi you can say. So which is used in the medicine penicillin. Okay. Next use is, so some microbes, they are oil-eating microbes. They are oil-eating microbes. So where these oil-eating microbes are useful is in the seas or the oceans. So when they in the seas or the ocean, suppose if oil spills from the tankers, oil tankers, so it gets mixed in the water. So that time what these microbes will do is they eat that oil or they drink that oil and save the water there. Okay, so microorganisms, they are helping in cleaning the oil spills in the ocean. Oil spills in the ocean. So it is helpful in that. So it is helpful in the oil spills in the ocean. Some of the microorganisms. Okay. And then next one. Some of the microorganisms, it is helpful in removing the roughage in animals. Roughage in animals like cows. Cow. So it removes roughage in cows. Okay. So what are roughage? The fiber part. Okay, when you study about the food, we'll discuss that roughage. Okay, so it is the fiber part which is essential for our balanced diet, which is required for the balanced diet. Okay, so that so the undigested part it will remove from animals. Okay, some bacteria it is going to eat or remove from the animals, and then as I said, the mushroom. It is eatable fungi. Eatable fungi. It is eatable fungi. Okay. And which is rich source in protein. That is FUNGEE or GI also. Okay. So it is rich in protein. Eatable. It is eatable one. Okay. And the last one is it converts the bodies of dead plants and animals and it helps in making manure. Converts dead plants and animals into manure. So while studying the agricultural steps in the last lesson, we studied that the steps, what are the steps required for agriculture, for a good agricultural practices. We studied that applying fertilizers or the manure is a must compulsory, is it not? Which is additional nutrient for the plants, which helps as the additional nutrient for the plants to grow. So that is why this some of the microorganisms also helps the dead plants and animals by biting that it helps to convert into manure. So which can be put for the fields for the good growth of the plants. Okay, so it is helpful in agriculture. So these are some of the uses of the microorganisms. These are some of the useful things of the microorganisms. Okay, so in today's class, we studied the three microorganisms. So in the last class only we had studied about bacteria. So in today's class we studied about protozoa, fungi and virus, and then how the microbes are harmful to us. Okay, so in the next class only one topic is left out: harmful microbes and protection from harmful microbes. So today's class we studied how the microbes are useful to us. So in the next class we'll study how it is dangerous or how it spoils our health, by what are the ways the microorganisms enter into our body, or what precaution measures we have to take so that we can prevent the microorganisms entering into our body. So all those we'll study it in the next class, and I'm going to give a revision. Okay, so two parts are left out, as I said. I'm going to do that in the next class and start with the revision part. Okay, so until then, be revising this and get ready for your test, children. Prepare the worksheet properly, read the worksheet properly. Question answers will be there and the diagrams will be there. Flower diagram, the stages of germination diagram, and the seed diagram. Is it not? So three diagrams also will be given. So prepare properly. Got it? Okay, and all the best for your FA1 test. So next class I'm going to give revision. So before next class, so take out your rough book and copy what all the revision I'm going to give, so that it will be easy for you to prepare for the test. So it will be easy only since only one lesson is given and one worksheet is only given. Got it? So that is the first lesson, and the July worksheet is there for FA1 test. Okay? So we'll meet in the next class. Until then, take care and prepare for the test, children. Thank you. I